Hey everybody, it's Gerwyn from Project Line. Today we're going to take a look at the intercompany sales orders and purchase order process in NetSuite. If you're a multi-company corporation, it's very common practice to buy and sell across your subsidiaries. I'm going to show you how NetSuite actually simplifies this process with some very useful intercompany tools. As you can see here in the middle of my screen, I've got my subsidiary Navigator. And as you can see, I've got my parent company on the top. Beneath that, I've got a Canadian company, two US subsidiaries, and I even have an elimination company. The elimination company is basically where you post your intercompany transactions during your month end or your period end closing. So just you remove those transactions from your subsidiaries, so you're not overinflating your revenues, expenses, accounts receivables, and payables, so they get booked to the elimination company. All right, so the first thing we need to do is create an intercompany purchase order. As you can see here, one of the prerequisites is you need to set up each subsidiary as a respective customer and vendor. So as you can see here, I'm working out of my Canadian subsidiary and I'm creating a purchase order to my intercompany vendor US1 subsidiary. So I like to prefix all of my intercompany customers and vendors with IC. In this case, this is a vendor, so it's ICV, intercompany vendor US1. As you can see here, I've purchased an item here for $74.50. So what I'm going to show you next is how NetSuite really simplifies this process to create the corresponding intercompany sales order. So if I go to transactions and I go to sales, there is a module called Manage Intercompany Sales Orders. And so this is where this tool here is what creates the corresponding intercompany sales order. So again, I need to pick my intercompany customer, which is going to be my Canadian subsidiary. And as you can see down here, this is the corresponding PO that we just created earlier, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this button called Generate Sales Order. It takes a couple of seconds. All right, so the corresponding intercompany sales order, as you can see, has been created successfully. So I can open this up, and let's take a look at this sales order. What's really important and what NetSuite has nicely done here is create this paired intercompany transaction link. So why is that important? It's important because now it's very easy to cross-reference these two documents. I mean, how many times in maybe your legacy system you've pulled your hair out because you forgot to maybe reference a sales order, intercompany sales order with this corresponding intercompany purchase order? That can be a nightmare of reconciliation if you don't link those two documents. So NetSuite has this tool to automatically link these documents for you. So when it comes to doing your period end closing, it'll automatically see these corresponding documents, which makes reconciliation so much cleaner. All right, so fast forward, I've already gone ahead and created the vendor bill. So here you can see from our Canadian subsidiary, we have a bill from our US vendor, and we have an accounts payable that's hitting our intercompany accounts payable GL account. Similarly, we have the AR invoice or the customer invoice. And as you can see, this is also hitting our intercompany receivables GL. So if we open up our balance sheet now, if we look at our intercompany receivables GL account, you'll see under the US company, they're expected to receive, $56 from our Canadian subsidiary. And if we go down to our intercompany's payable, you'll see that our Canadian company owes $56. Also, if we look at the income statement here, we can look at the intercompany revenue here. So again, our U.S. subsidiary, for example, is has a revenue of $56.06. So again, going back to the end of the month when we do our period end closing, here you'll see we have a task called Eliminate Intercompany Transactions, right? So again, this is what gets posted to our elimination company. So I can run this task, run intercompany elimination. Right, I'll just pick a location here. I'll save that. I just need to mark this as complete. All right. So now, if I were to go into my balance sheet, for example, and I were to refresh this, if I look at my intercompany receivables in my elimination company, you can see there's an amount now for $56.06. Okay, so that's elimination in a nutshell, as well as intercompany transactions in the form of sales orders and purchase orders between subsidiaries. NetSuite's really streamlined this process for us, giving us the tools to help give visibility and to help cross-reference the sales orders and purchase orders with each other. So hope you found this video useful. We'll catch you on the next one.